Well, this morning is busy with politics. A student had asked about what's all the big hubbub or controversy with Electoral College. So, I mean, I've done videos in the class, but also on the Electoral College in general. But the issue is this, is that an election happened, and each state has a popular vote. If you want to look at it that way, say there's 50 states, and each one of them has a popular vote. And those votes roll up to how to allocate electoral college votes, meaning each electorate. So some states have three, some go, I mean, they all have different amounts based off of having two senators and one representative. That gives you three minimum votes. Each state, minimum three. So, like Utah, for example, may have three. Colorado, I believe, has nine. For each representative, they get an extra electorate or elector, and that person and these people come together at their state capitals and they vote. And they'll say the state of Kentucky votes X number for this candidate. Now, some states like Nebraska and Maine, they can obviously break up things. They have proportional voting, so they don't all go one way. They base it off of districts, and it's not a complicated formula, but it's a formula understood beforehand. So, that being said, things roll up, the votes go in, and so you have a national popular vote, which isn't really important. I think that's more of a kind of makes you feel good that you got it, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican. It's nice to have, but that's not what the game. That's not how the game's played. Okay. Electoral college is all that matters. In our current system, 270 votes is what matters. Now, if it doesn't work, like a candidate doesn't get 270, then it kicks over to the House. President goes to the House, and each state gets one vote. The VP goes to the Senate, and each senator gets a vote. So that's just a little bit of background. The controversy today is that obviously one side is not happy that they lost the election, and that's okay. I don't think anybody would be happy to lose an election. The question is, what's the response? So there's a lot of controversy over the violence, rioting, fighting, and all that, and that's another issue for another day, another video maybe. Um, but when someone sits there and says, you or that person won, and they're a danger to the republic, and so then they start pretending like Alexander Hamilton wanted the electors to stop someone who's dangerous based off of their opinion. Hamilton really did believe, Alexander Hamilton, he was would have maybe might have been a president if had he not been assassinated or in a duel. He might have made it, but he was very instrumental on a larger federal government, especially the Treasury. He was really big on that. That's why you see him on the $10 bill. Having said that, Hamilton's belief of the safety valve, where the electors could actually vote against the popular will of their state or maybe put someone else in power, the idea was that there could be someone put in there based off of like they're just a bad person, and that this is one safety valve left. But what he didn't believe is well, we have a choice between Hillary and Trump. Now, let's just say it was reversed. Okay, Hillary wins the electorate, Trump wins the national popular vote. It wasn't designed for conservatives or Republicans to go after Hillary and say, well, she's a horrible person. There's no way. She can't possibly be president. I don't think she can do a good job. We should all vote against her. That's not what it's about. It's not what it's about. And it's not the other way either. Now, here's an example that could be that way. Let's say, for example, before the president goes in, they're found to be fraud, or they're being indicted by the federal bureau, or a local agency arrests them for murder. That could be an example where they say, whoa, we got to stop here and we got to put somebody else in power here. But there's only a little brief window of about a month and a half that can happen. So it's not really an effective check and balance there. So when we see all these people rioting or protesting, the rioting is not legal, but the protesting is. I would suggest this to any party. If you lose an election, accept it. You can check for fraud, but move on and win the debate later. Meaning, the next elections are representatives and senators. Work on that. State elections are coming up. Work on that. Win the argument, win all those things back, and set the stage for 4 years. You can sit there and do whatever you want, no matter the politics, left or right, but win the debate, win those offices, and try. This is personal at this point, it's not really objective, but be good Americans. If you challenge the elections today, then you're really challenging the integrity of the system. And when you do that, it means something to people. So either if it's not real, then don't make it real or try to make it real. Be good Americans, move on, and then set the stage. If you think you can win, then do it that way. The other side's going to do it, so you do it and compete for the love and affection and support of the American people, but be good Americans about it. So that's it, and I think that might help clarify a little bit on the current issues and what's going on with the Electoral College.